Greetings, everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am here not only on behalf of the Turkish president, on behalf of the Turkish people. I bring you the greetings of my president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who has told me to tell you, Jive, Jive, Jive Pakistan. Dear ministers, dear businessmen, the rector of our university, Dr. Murad, and beloved students and academicians, I also have been given the mission by my president to send you the warm greetings of the Turkish president to the beloved academicians and students of this wonderful university, the University of University of Management and Technology. Now, I am, yes, the president's advisor, but I'm also a journalist, that is true. I have traveled to Pakistan several times. I have met practically all your prime ministers in the past, from late, may Allah rest his soul in peace, to Bhutto, to Ziaul Haq, to everyone until now. Pakistan has a very special place for us, for the Turks. It is not only a brotherly country, a sisterly country, but it is also our friend without any question. Countries have established relations, established bonds and friendships because of international interests, because we are always told international relations are built on interests. Where here, this relationship has been built on affection, brotherly feelings, and it has survived until now despite everything. So we are in a very interesting period of history. I am coming from a country that has just suffered a major shock on July 15, as you know well. We suffered a military coup attempt, a bloody military coup attempt, and an organization called the Fethullah Gülen organization, now we call them a terrorist organization, infiltrated into our military, infiltrated into our state system, and unfortunately, they staged a coup. And miraculously, our president asked the Turkish people to go into the streets and halt this military coup that was completely bloody and vicious. And what happened in Turkey? The Turkish people took to the streets. They saved democracy in an unprecedented fashion that has never been seen in world history. There has been coup attempts. They have been unfolded, foiled, but never in the past have a nation stood up against tanks with bare arms, nothing, no arms, no nothing, with only flags, stood up against tanks, armored vehicles, helicopter gunships, F-16 fighters, and they have stopped the coup. I take this applause for the Turkish people who stood up for democracy and became a source of inspiration for the world, for all the nations, the democracy-loving nations of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear friends, we are in a phase in history where Islam is under a very serious assault. I think this kind of assault has never been precedented in history. We had the Mongolian attacks, we had all kinds of attacks against Islam, but this is the first time that we are facing such a vicious attack on Islam, and we all have to come together and collect our wits, bring our wits together to counter this assault. I know this is a business community meeting, but if we do not have stability, if we cannot stand on our feet, business economy doesn't mean much. So what do we do? Well, unfortunately, there is an international attempt that we see that is bringing Islam into disrepute. The teachings of Islam are being misquoted. The teachings of Islam are being completely redefined by terrorist organizations like ISIL, or Daesh. We call them 3 different names, but they are the so-called Islamic State that is active in Iraq and Syria. All these terrorist organizations, coupled with the Fethullah Gülen organization, which came to your country, which came to us. We believed them, we saw them as the Fethullah Gülen movement as a benevolence movement, a goodness, kindness movement. But they ended up infiltrating into our state system, into your state system. They ended up into all various countries in Central Asia, Africa, and instead of benevolence, they offered us, unfortunately today, blood, sweat, and tears. They used the name of Islam, the good name of Islam, and they changed the whole concepts. Now I think we have to return to our roots. The good name of Islam has to survive. How? Very easy. We are in the heart of Iqbal's land. Muhammad Iqbal, the spiritual and philosophic father of Pakistan, God bless him and rest his soul in peace, has shown us the way of how contemporary thinkers can bring Islam up, and we need those today. We really miss Iqbal a lot. We miss people like Iqbal a lot, but we can produce those people, and we have to. We are obliged to do it in the name of our beloved Prophet, in the name of Allah. So, I think we have to bring our wits together, as I said. But besides that, we also have to bring a just system into the world. My president, when he addressed the United Nations, said, the world is greater than 5. The United Nations Security Council, comprised of 5 countries, is unfortunately dominating the international scene. What they are doing is, even when they are involved in various crises themselves, they can veto United Nations decisions, United Nations Security Council decisions, and thus we are facing a very serious international chaos. Look at Syria, look at Iraq, look at many parts of the world. So we have to bring this just order into the international system where the United Nations is revitalized, where the United Nations, when it takes the decision, can end international crises and not add to it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think these are the basic concepts that Turkey is working on. The coup, thank God, has failed. And it did not only serve, this kind of failure did not only serve and save the Turkish people, but it also saved the inspirations of the international community. The world looks up to Turkey for inspiration, for hope. We see that in Africa. We see that everywhere. We see it here. We see it in Central Asia. And we are determined to continue as the Turkish people to remain the source of hope and inspiration and give you the best we can. Turkey and Pakistan, they have been old friends, but we have to build this friendship on economic sound basis as well. You now have 25 Turkish businessmen here. You have 100 Turkish companies operating in Pakistan. I think it is time that we as Turkey contributed more to the development of our brothers and sisters in Pakistan and give you a booster, because you deserve it. You deserve it more than anyone else. We are here as Turks to help you out, but also you are also helping us out. Dr. Murad, he came to Turkey. He is now building an incredible base for your university to improve our cooperation in Turkey and help us in our educational system. We really appreciate the efforts of the university in Turkey.